What if I could expose who you really are in the next few minutes? Not the version you show people, not the filtered, controlled, socially acceptable version, the real one. Because here's something uncomfortable. You are not defined by your intentions. You are defined by your reactions. The things that trigger you, the standards you secretly accept, the people you envy, the habits you repeat when no one is watching. That's your identity. Psychology has proven something most people avoid. Your brain leaks the truth about you, constantly, through patterns, through behavior, through micro-decisions you don't even notice. So if you're brave enough, let's uncover who you actually are, not the character, the default setting. And once you see it, you won't be able to unsee it. Let's begin. Point 1. Your triggers reveal your insecurities. What irritates you exposes you. Pay attention to what instantly triggers an emotional reaction, not mild annoyance. I'm talking about the things that make your chest tighten, your tone change, your mood shift. Psychology calls this projection, a defense mechanism described by Sigmund Freud. The idea is simple. We don't just react to behavior, we react to what that behavior means about us. If someone's confidence irritates you, it might highlight your own self-doubt. If someone's success feels threatening, it might expose your fear of being left behind. If criticism hits you harder than it should, it may reveal an identity built on external validation. Your triggers are mirrors. They don't show you the other person, they show you the part of yourself you haven't fully faced. And the more intense the reaction, the deeper the insecurity. So instead of asking, why are they like that? Ask, why did that hit me so hard? That question alone can change how you see yourself. Point 2. What you tolerate defines your self-worth. You don't get what you deserve. You get what you tolerate. Look at your life closely. The disrespect you allow, the standards you lower, the boundaries you never enforce. They are not accidents. They are reflections. Psychology shows that self-worth is behavioral, not verbal. You can say, I value myself, but if you constantly over-explain, over-apologize, over-give, your behavior is telling a different story. There's a concept in psychology called self-concept clarity, how clearly and confidently you define who you are. When it's low, you bend, you adapt, you accept less than you want just to avoid discomfort. But here's the truth. Every time you tolerate something beneath your standard, you train your brain to believe this is what I'm worth. And your brain always acts in alignment with what it believes. So if you want to know how you truly see yourself, don't look at your affirmations. Look at your boundaries. Your standards are your self-image in action. Point 3. Who you envy shows who you want to become. Jealousy is data. Most people treat envy like something shameful. They suppress it, deny it, judge themselves for feeling it. But psychology suggests something different. Envy is a directional emotion. It points toward a desire you haven't admitted yet. When someone's discipline irritates you, when someone's lifestyle makes you uncomfortable, when someone's confidence feels intimidating, pause. Ask yourself, what exactly do they have that unsettles me? Because buried inside that discomfort is a blueprint. Research on social comparison theory by Leon Festinger explains that we constantly measure ourselves against others to evaluate our own progress and identity. But here's the twist. You don't envy things you don't care about. You don't feel threatened by paths you don't secretly want. Envy reveals aspiration without permission. It exposes the version of you that you haven't given yourself access to yet. So instead of resenting the person ahead of you, study them. They're not your competition, they're your clue. Point 4. Your excuses reveal your identity. The story you repeat becomes who you are. Listen carefully to your most common excuse. I'm just not disciplined. I'm bad at relationships. I'm not a morning person. I'm not confident. These aren't observations. They're identity statements. Psychology shows that humans act in alignment with their self-image. Once you label yourself a certain way, your brain looks for evidence to confirm it. This is called self-verification theory. You subconsciously protect the identity you believe is yours, even if it limits you. So if you say, I procrastinate because that's just how I am, your brain will prove you right, not because it's true, but because consistency feels safe. Here's the uncomfortable part. Your excuses are often protecting your ego from short-term discomfort. If you admit, I'm capable but I avoid hard things, now you're responsible. But if you say, I'm just not that type of person, you're safe. Your patterns are rarely about ability, they're about identity protection. So if you want to know who you really are, listen to the story you tell when things get hard. That story is running your life.
Point 5. How you act when no one is watching is your real character. Your private behavior is your true identity, not your image, not your reputation, not your curated personality. Character is what remains when there is no reward and no consequence. Psychologists studying moral behavior call this intrinsic motivation, doing something because it aligns with who you believe you are, not because someone is watching. If you only work hard when praised, if you're only kind when it benefits you, if you only stay disciplined when there's pressure, that's performance. But when you stay consistent in silence, that's identity. This connects to what researchers like Albert Bandura explored in social learning theory. We internalize behaviors over time until they become part of our self-system. Eventually, you don't try to be disciplined. You are disciplined. You don't try to be honest. You are honest. And the fastest way to measure who you really are, ask yourself, what do I do when it doesn't count? Because that is exactly what counts.
If this made you think differently about yourself, subscribe, because the strongest advantage you can build is understanding your own mind.